Hello and welcome back to Returnal. So, I put this game into standby mode to try and keep my run going, and while it was in standby mode, the PlayStation 5 decided it needed to update. So I had to restart the run, but I made it back to where I was, and with a much bigger health bar. I found a ability to that whenever I gain a malfunction or remove a malfunction, or gain a parasite or remove a parasite, my max integrity increases. So that has helped out quite a bit.
Taken me into the Citadel, beyond the forest's massive wall.
Okay, so we're in a citadel.
White Shadow is nearly within reach. Scans show that the broadcast originates from the tower inside a Citadel-like complex.
Sulfium vial. We'll leave it there for the moment. Modular calibrator. That did well for us. So that wants something shot to open that. We'll have to keep an eye out for it. Okay, it doesn't look like we're doing anything to that, actually. Derelict Citadel.
Encountered hostile machines. Fully automated.
Okay, those guys release an energy wave when destroyed. We'll have to keep that in mind. Scout log.
This is it. The journey is almost over. The origin of White Shadow is right here. Soon I'll know why, and bury these horrible memories in the past. So much desolation. Is this their city? It's only inhabited by corpses, broken machines. I'm heading towards the broadcast tower now.
Always interesting to see these anchor points just kind of pointing out into nothing. Large resin. More health, not gonna complain about that. Yeah, still doesn't look like... Yeah, we haven't been able to find... No, there's a... We need to start looking behind us more often. That may have opened that up for us. Malignant Silphium, we will pass. Oof. Silphium resin. Restore access to the central tower. First Xenoglyph cipher here. Only 15 available of them. That's probably gonna take us to the end area. We never meant for the war to destroy so much. We were only trying to communicate, but in the end everything went too far. We should not have followed the Creator-Destroyer. Small Sylphium. Large Sylphium. Interesting. Not sure what those arrows there are meaning on the map. Oh. I guess I wasn't paying enough attention there. Oh. Those are causing malfunctions. Great. Well, we do have an item for that. And that will increase our max health. Convenient. Actually, I think that's gonna be better. Okay, that's what we're seeing there is from the previous room, so we don't need to worry about that. Yeah, I'm not sure at all what those arrows mean there. Drones. Oh. That's some interesting attacks. Looks like we'll have to train a couple of jumps. And it looks like there's something below us. Malignant container. Not really what I want to deal with. And is there a way to get back? Yes, there is. Good. Was worried there for a moment. Okay. Another audio recording.
At broadcast tower, but I haven't seen any evidence of any living member of the hive mind. If they sent out White Shadow, when? The mothership first picked up the transmission months back. Mathematically, that means it was triggered ages ago.
Oh.
Thousands of years before I was born.
Okay. Need to keep an eye out for Kitty. My cat looks like it wants to jump on top of my television, and I'm trying to dissuade it from doing so. So, kitties are not as easily dissuaded. Ah! Ground surge. And ground surge. Neither of those seem like they would, shrapnel is a new one. Yeah, we can work on unlocking that. At least see what it does. I do like the serrated bullets, though, since they do damage over time to targets. New gun. Thermogenic launcher. Mobilite stabilizer. Disruptive. Limit reached. And my cat decided to jump across anyways. I'm sure I'd like the damage, but I'm not sure I like the fire rate. And by not sure, I mean I don't like the fire rate. Ah. Kitty. Ah, I timed that one just perfectly to mess up. Oh. Any more of you out here? Looks like there is. Sidearm. Keep hearing ominous sounds. Spitmaw blaster. Not right now. Malignant Oblight. No, thank you. Malignant Silphium. We'll try it. This is not where I expected it to take us. But that's okay. Dash disabled. Ow. Gotta time those better. Ah, yep. Ah! Oof. Made it through. Not enough obolite. Well, there's more obolites there. Ah! But not enough to get us up to what we need. Is there a way up top? Crap. Now I gotta go back through this. Ah. And I keep failing these jumps, and will probably die from it. And I'm still not seeing a way up top. Damn it. Oh. Can we jump on those things? Doesn't appear so. Oh well. We'll have to come back to that at a later point. I don't feel the obolite itself is gonna be worth it. If it was a healing item, I might risk it. Oh. Crap. Ah. Right, but we do have... Oh, I guess we don't have anything. Unfortunate. Keep unlocking weird stuff from here. Overload bolt. Successful overloads generate energy bolts that hit 2 nearest hostiles. That's pretty cool. The house.
It's open again. The fog seeping inside. Am I not the only thing that can enter here?
and left Retribution roaring through a wake of dead stardust, exactly as the fog pouring from the funerary urns Maw had predicted. For the first time since the ship's fatal accident, Tali felt alive. "They are burning to ashes," she admitted in a detached voice, no longer her own, feeling the bulkhead against her pinned shoulders, reverberating as another god guttered into smoke in the engine's crematorium. "You will not get back to him. Gods and titans, ashes upon ashes. My ship is dying. I am dying. You will not save him. They are all trapped behind a lock tighter than Tartarus was deep." Rage, loathing, impotence. She felt them all, like the unpredictable hot winds of her desert homeland, wash over her from the astronaut's unseen gaze. It knew she had won. Tali awakens again, this time in a pool of blood that is mostly not hers. This time in her time, past and future bedamned. Slumping on the ground, she looks down the hallways. The astronaut is gone, probably in another failed attempt to break the autopilot subsystems. She had to extend some respect to it for being as driven as she was. Her starship would crash. That wasn't as inevitable now. The descent is predictable. Its mathematics a sickening prophecy, but there is an if outcome remaining, assuming she can have the words of it interpreted another way by Oracle. Amid the destruction spreading from the hole pierced through the Hall of Retribution, Tali Acheron finds her center. The blood soaking up through her pants is absorbed into her veins. Heart rate quickens into the thrill of adrenaline. The unconscious patterns of her fingertips lightly draw on the ether. That which destroys now creates. There can be no paradoxes in a world without end or beginning. Everything is permitted in my domain. In the astral, she turns the regret-rusted key in the lock. The door opens. Solace, now returning to the hallway where she chased astronaut to the shadow-stained gate. Though the barrier pushed her away before, she finally has the means to compel entry. Mother's ire, smothered fire, I affix each one. Glory, reignite the sun. Tali intones. Silence. Glory, the booming voice of Oracle. 10,000,000 whispers united into the unyielding force of eternity. The sun-faced totem evaporates from Tali's second sight. The pang of loss grips her soul feebly, then likewise is gone. We must forget to remember. We must leave to return. We must die to live. And the gate shimmers to transparency, allowing the first mortal passage in countless millennia. Tali descends into Pythia's inner sanctum, each step eternity's weight, her name whispered. She finds the throne, illuminated by a single beam of golden light. She sits. She wills herself to be Oracle, for only the single instant it will take to disintegrate the world, sanctioning retribution to pass unharmed, though the cost will be. Can't go upstairs now. Guess we're going to the piano.
This melody, I remember that. What are you doing? Wake up.
Interesting. Okay, that's the same thing. What do we need to trigger? Can't go upstairs.
Waiting for me. Like the astronaut.
When we look back at the monumental success of the first crude tragic car accident occurred in the Okanagan Wenatchee nuclear landing, it is impossible to divorce the forest. Although authorities have yet to identify the mission's significance in itself from the effects the cause, as road conditions were optimal, the car broke through a guardrail and plunged witnessing world into lake. The driver, Thea, the collective and conscious understanding, has suffered major spinal injuries. Her daughter, miraculously, of humankind's place on Earth. And thereby the universe originated from the moment we stepped upon the surface of another celestial body, survived unharmed.
Interesting.
What do you want?
This hallway's open now. Great.
It's you, isn't it, Mother? I told you to...
And again we awaken. Onward, ever onward. Wow. I really hate this pistol. Nope. And we fell. Great. We may die here. Ah. And I fell again. Great. That went well. We want to go to this thing first. Unlock a new item. Energy Manipulator. Using a consumable briefly increases protection by 10%. Malignant key. We'll pick it up. Fabricate items. Melee cooldown increased. Resin. Malignant resin. Open containers or fabricate items. Broken calibrator. Murmuring cocoon increases the positive effects of parasites. Happily take that. Yes, we will trade up. Fixes or prevents one malfunction, detaches afterwards. All right. Ah, missed. Let's see, broken calibrator, 20% chance to... I do not like that. Tropian key, definitely want that. Resin, start getting our health built up a little bit. Resin. And another resin. Okay, since we're able to switch out to the rifle, we'll see if we can take this on. Well, we got it. We just took a ton of damage dealing with it. And it just gave us an energy barricade. That is not much of a reward. Crap. Small Sylphium. Hack our way through. See if there's anything worth malignant Sulfium. Kill hostiles. Get rid of one of them. Pick up the open containers. Map is scrambled and overload is disabled. The overload one is kind of annoying. Oh, that was unfortunate. Warren calibrator.
Riddled with eyes. A slaughter of bipedal vertebrates. A bed being swallowed by tentacles. The astronaut overhead, and a being that resembles me. How did they capture my likeness so perfectly?
Interesting. This is the way forward, so... Sidearm. Well, we could at least get to work on the homing missiles. I don't think our odds are likely for us to survive this one for overly long. Close one. And adrenaline is reset. Gotta keep moving. Well, one more and we get to, Okay, we unlocked the homing missile, so now we can move on to a different gun. Hey, malfunction removed. Nice. Okay, that's gonna be the way to the next area. So we are gonna have a lot of lore to read through. Where was Okay, there's a few more. Ah! I was trying to avoid that. Small sulfium. Ah! Hey, we survived that one. I was not actually expecting that. Whew. Shield vial. Right, we don't have the item to break through that type of shield. Okay. Is there a way for us to get up? Ah! Oh! Ah! Yep. Messed up. That run did not go very well. Okay, let's hit up some of the lore. Okay, the turret implies the existence of a Parsinger civilization, as evidenced by its prevalence in various biomes and its architectural similarities to the ruins found on the planet. There is some variation in projectiles, their pattern, and other behaviors. As the turret does not target any of the discovered hostile fauna, it is unclear whether it succeeded in defeating all of its intended targets, or if its programming has become corrupted due to database mismatch. Additional data needed for further analysis. Malformed Kerbernox. The malformed variant exhibits multiple unique attack patterns, but no clear source or causality. Depending on the missing data, Necroticon should not even be alive. If it is conscious perimeter required. Significant levels of pain. How it is able to sense its environment in spite of major tissue damage is unclear. Muscle memory and vestigial instincts could be dragging it forward towards an empty goal. Additional data needed for further analysis. Titanops. The Titanops does not seem to have any visual sensory organs except for the large translucent jelly protrusions on top of its head, filled with unknown error, humanoid creatures. This could be a sign of adaptation to paradox warning, introduced in its environment. Lamedon. Okay. The cancer to metastasize, he said. She dreaded the direction his analogy was leading them, and their situation inexorably up an infinite scaffold where there was never a literal end, only an antagonizing wasting away without release. It's in the hall, she admitted, overwhelmed by the implication of a complete mycomorph. Decomposition analysis indicates that the parsing error lodged deeply within a suitable host's body where they seem to unknown error until the host has been sufficiently weakened, after which they quickly germinate and excrete toxins to kill bacteria and keep other corpse fauna away. It is uncertain how long the full metamorphosis process takes, but the twitching present indicates that some of the host's nervous system may survive. Frike. Smothered memories escape gazing in her beating heart of disgrace. Signal partially decrypted. Smother fires suffocating memories, promised places. Terminal escape, Gehenna, Helheim, Tartarus. Loop error, needed for further analysis. Crimson Turret. While the ruins were a very moisture-heavy environment, the wastes present very different challenges to the maintenance of machines. With constant erosion by wind, small particles, and unknown reference. While the machinery is still surprisingly functional after approximately parsing error, larger structures have not survived as well. The remnants are too eroded to make accurate reconstructions, but the possibility of internal destruction or sabotage remains. Waste Kerberonox. In order to preserve body fluids in levels that would allow survival, the waste Kerberonox memory error by way of atrophy. This complete reduction in the digestive system effectively renders the salivary glands as vestigial. Consumption, it appears, has been wholly divorced from any sense of pleasure and variable undefined. Survival by instinct rather than self-interest. Severed. A sentient life form known as the Severed in the Xenotype writings. They shared a physiological similarity to the normal sentients, so presumably these individuals are the results of undefined error. Unable to communicate with them as they seem to attack indiscriminately before contact can be established. Encountered individuals all seem to share a parsing error, right forearm, which they are able to use to shoot unknown reference projectiles. At close range, they utilize a sword to attack or grab and keep their target in a damaging hold. Though so far unknown means are they able to teleport over short distances. Neurological scans indicate detectable undefined error, yet significant trauma. Despite being healthy on the cellular level, expected nerve damage based on physical elements and unknown variable, surprisingly not present. It is as though their thoughts continue in agonizing stream of conscious pathways only, and until hitting a dead end, turning around and repeatedly enduring the same processes. Aetheract, a flying null-shaped cube shape with arms reaching below to eyes, wall of eyes. 3 roads come up to meet you upon expiration, cloven from the bedrock of unknown depths. Motherless stillborn. Uniformity, a core of repulsion lodged in substrata never to sprout, and yet it soars in defiance, erratic as its genesis. I uproot my rejection, abominating primogeniture. Ixion. Inside of the nothing quiet wait had sanctity. Signal partially decrypted. Opening inside a command antechamber of the deepest, nothing to compare to it now. Citadel turret, a stationary gun turret similar to the ones encountered in the ruins and wastes. However, this model is slightly larger overall and has an enlarged firing chamber. This model fires projectiles that explode into expanding, unknown reference energy circles upon impact. Tripod, a ground-based machine with 3 legs and 2 arm-like cannons, presumably created by the hive mind. It shoots projectiles in volleys of 3, but where multiple tripods are in the vicinity, one of them often hunkers down, puts up a shield, and targets the enemy with a beam attack. Despite the data corrupted, it can move fairly quickly. Its programming emphasizes a need to keep distance from its target, but can attack at melee range by stomping the target as well. Drone, a flying machine with a rounded central unit and 2 wing-like engines, presumably created by the hive mind. It shoots both homing missiles and damaging circles of energy that expand outwards. As most units are severely degraded and damaged, the drones are fairly easy to dispatch, but they are programmed to dive and explode near their target when sufficiently damaged. Broken automaton, an automaton that has become bisected, losing its lower limbs and becoming dangerously unstable. Due to the structural weaknesses present in all automatons, this is the likely fate for any units that survive logic error. It is still capable of using the claw-like forelimbs to chase its target. Upon reaching target's vicinity, it will finally self-destruct. Armored machina, a spherical machine that floats in place. The core is made of unknown fault, covered by self-repairing plating made of unknown alloys. Its attacks are not particularly targeted, but it spreads a cloud of projectiles in its environment and its close proximity when taking damage. It is also capable of dissolving and rebuilding itself in a matter of seconds. Upon termination, it will release a hail of projectiles, some of which seem to target enemies' systems with the intent to cause malfunctions. And that's all we have for hostiles, equipment, info. Thermogenic launcher, a long-range weapon of sentient make, fires projectiles that consist solely of unstable, burning, unknown fault, which explode on contact with a hostile or a surface. The lack of any sort of structural container for the explosive matter or even a guidance system on the projectiles, as their temperature exceeds the functional limits of even the sentient skill with unusual materials and embedded circuitry, makes this piece of technology either very primitive or alternatively so beyond our comprehension that we cannot even detect its presence. Rock landlobber, a bioengineered weapon which expels a highly viscous blob of corrosive mucus. The large sac at the back holds the untreated mucal fluid, which when combined with the reagent in the lower stomach becomes highly acidic when exposed to air. While the sac continuously condenses water from the air, the nasal passages are used to inhale database mismatch to gather up the necessary component for the reagent. Holding the unknown air causes the esophagus to elongate and tighten, allowing the projectiles to travel for longer distances. Energy barricade. Shielding units observed under database mismatch, altering variances. Considering the unique signature, it is therefore surprising that such a simple engineering parsing error, a degree of conscious analysis. The most plausible explanation is that the device scans the user before being deployed, then erects the necessary receptor defenses per the given disorder. Large Silphium. The relationship between the integrity of the suit and the vital signs of the occupant are not insignificant, even in the event of catastrophic damage. Database mismatch, although permanently severed, allows for the possibility of soothing the remaining damages. An ache might continue akin to phantom pain. Consult Astromed as sensation becomes unbearable. Parasite Harvester, a non-reusable unknown reference. Activating the object causes it to take a random attached parasite and transmute it into a random item or obolites. It will also consume itself in the process to provide the necessary database mismatch, not found in organic beings. Obolite Siphon. Prior to complete suit failure, missing entry allows for continuation of sorts. Unfortunately, parsing error cannot apply to systems that have already reached an irreparable state. When damage crosses such a permanent boundary, it is advisable to suspend service. Translocation sphere. As the technology of the spheres is structurally so unlike the standard xenotype technology, it may be that there is parsing error behind them. Not only the structure, but the whole thought process behind them has a certain unknown reference not found in the devices made by the sentients. Residual sphere, a portable sphere consisting of database mismatch. When the object is activated, it releases chemicals and particulates that resemble unknown reference. This causes any undigested or missing reference sulfium with the nearby hostiles to instantly coalesce into their resin form. The near instantaneous effect of condensing any sulfium present inside the organisms is remarkably efficient. Curiously, this effect does not apply to any sulfium found in its natural state, implying that the interior physiology of the hostiles may play an important part in this process. The function seems very unknown error principle to allow the creation of artificial diamonds in laboratory settings. However, the application of heat and pressure must also have an excruciating effect on the organisms itself. Alt-fire coolant. With the creation of a temporary pathway via overclocking, when returning to a normal state database fault, the equipment is without any of the expected stress damages from such sudden intensity. Remarkably, evidence of the elevated state does not exist in automated data logs, as if the cost of the bipolar outburst is to deny it ever happening. Kinetic siphon, a portable xenotype vial full of emerald-colored liquid. When used, the vial breaks, the liquid seeks out the Atropian blade and parsing error. It forms a temporary network converting any kills made with the blade to materials for integrity repairs. Additional side effect for the astrosuit is that the dash cooldown is significantly reduced. Shield vial. This substance has a curious feature of making simulacrum resonant, unknown reference. Disposable, intriguingly similar, parameter missing. Spontaneous particle generation observed in true voids. The cost of their having burst into existence as being forced to annihilate themselves immediately afterwards. The carrying grapnel, a xenotype module that allows for the use of grappling points to database error, distant or elevated areas. That's it for equipment. Artifacts. Obolite Extractor, a xenotype artifact with several antenna-like protrusions and yellow-colored unknown reference core. This item will cause hostiles to expel more obolites when eliminated, but only in the case that they have caused damage to the user first. The meaning of this required exchange of damage between the user and the target is unclear. Obolite Stabilizer, a xenotype artifact with a pyramid shape and a yellow-colored unknown reference core. This item provides additional stability to unstable obolites, those that are not encased in rocky formations but expelled by hostiles and such. Wound Seekers, a xenotype artifact that has an open chamber-like structure that houses several parsing error projectiles. They fire off when the user engages in combat, automatically replenishing themselves. They do not act autonomously, but engage the user's selected target and deal additional damage to it, if it is at low health. Resin Enhancer, a xenotype artifact in the shape of an unknown reference injector. This item enhances the natural properties of resin, allowing it to be used more efficiently. Normally, the material requirements for a full max integrity upgrade would require 3 regular resins, but with this artifact the requirement is lowered to 2. Energy Manipulator, a xenotype artifact in the shape of an unknown reference, with 2 small handles on opposing sides. The item seems to utilize the energy that is released from consumable devices to create a fate impact reduction field around the user, causing a temporary increase in protection. Blade Balancer, a xenotype artifact shaped like 3-part screw with a central hole that is compatible with the handle of the Atropian blade. This item will bring additional balance to the weapon and enhance the power output of the unknown fault, allowing for stronger attacks. At least on the short term, there seems to be no drawbacks to the addition of this artifact. Pulsating Mass, an artifact of unknown origin with several xenotype bones, skins, organs linked together with unknown air substance, which pulsates in conjunction with each birth and death breach detected mouth on your skin. You feed them, they feed your logic fault. Shell stronger, death escaping, never laying you down. Phantom Limb. An artifact of unknown origin with a hand-like shape, with multi-jointed bone sinew held together with unknown air. Its fingers curl every time you deliver the final silence by your hands. Squeeze the trigger, the heart, the flesh. When your offerings are deemed worthy, then unknown air spreads, covering you with promise of release, a laughter in a rush of breathless sinking. Music box, a casket of unrecognizable make and style that sometimes emits a short, broken elegy in total silence. Okay. Scout logs.
Someone else is here. An astronaut, but that's impossible. Is it guiding me or following? It reminds me of the old photos my mother showed me. The type of suit she would have worn if not for the accident. But something from the Apollo era couldn't withstand this atmosphere. A tree riddled with eyes. A slaughter of bipedal vertebrates. A bed being swallowed by tentacles. The astronaut overhead. And a being. It resembles me. I know why they became severed. Divine punishment for failing ascension. Ascension. No sooner has the word escaped my lips than a vast image of the transcendent watcher in the deep below consumes my mind. I have begun having visions of where I have yet to go. They lead me continually downwards from Olympus and into myself. I alone am worthy. I'm relatively confident the severed would have been incapable of sending out the White Shadow broadcast. Their fractured nature does not display any proof of higher cerebral functions. The other sentience must still be alive at its source beyond the wall. But without a proper means of communication, will they view me as hostile as well? I haven't come here to destroy. The variety of dangerous fauna on this world is beyond anything I've previously experienced. I hate to use the term, but it feels mythic. It's impossible not to think of my books. Hydras, gorgons, and other monsters returning to life. I've continued self-experimentation with more discovered technology. Irreversibly contaminated, if I define my current status by Scout regulations. Have I lost a part of myself? The device merged disturbingly well with my suit, like it recognized me, and that it was waiting for me. I'm heading straight for the signal source again. Scaling the wall should be an easy task this time. More of the history of this world is certainly over on the other side. But do you see the White Shadow? This phrase is calling me. It's reached the point that I can't hear anything else. Deciphering the blood-red xenoglyphs has failed to reveal any symbolism behind statue wrapping. Suffocation, imprisonment, metamorphosis. I enshroud myself and hide. My shadows lurk everywhere and deeper. Perhaps they were simply trying to bandage themselves and heal, then transform into something greater and ascend. It might be the oppressive heat, but I keep catching myself glancing over my shoulder, only to find shadows and the astronaut staring back. Whenever I try to reach them, I find myself in a sandstorm. I can't seem to stop this from happening. The woman who was supposed to step on the surface of another world was Mom. Thought she'd be proud of me following in her... where her footsteps may have taken her if she'd had the opportunity. Is that why I'm here? To go where she couldn't? Seeing that house again, feels as though she's still judging me. This is it. The journey is almost over. The origin of White Shadow is right here. Soon I'll know why, and bury these horrible memories in the past. So much desolation. Is this their city? It's only inhabited by corpses, broken machines. I'm heading towards the broadcast tower now. I'm nearly at broadcast tower, but I haven't seen any evidence of any living member of the hive mind. If they sent out White Shadow, when? The mothership first picked up the transmission months back. Mathematically, that means it was triggered ages ago. Thousands of years before I was born.
That's all the scout logs. Xenoglyphs. Right. So, our connection to our brethren was destroyed when we descended into the abyss, and although we felt whole upon return, our brethren feared us. We saw countless arms reaching for the Creator-Destroyer, a creature we did not understand, but they were never satisfied even after countless feasts on its mind. By moving on, it could escape without suffering for eternity. We never meant for the war to destroy so much. We were only trying to communicate, but in the end, everything went too far. We should not have followed the Creator-Destroyer. A single xenotype sentient, appearance of observation. Sentience, severed variant wrapping themselves in cloth on Fisker 265I Atropos. Sentient, severed variant worshipping pillars found in Crimson Waste. Sentient, severed version writing ciphers on walls. And that is all of the lore we have to cover. So, if you enjoyed it, please hit that like button. And I hope you join us in the next episode. I'll probably fight my way to the tower and then start recording at the tower again.